Welcome in, SLA. I am your host, Mitch Mortaza. I am joined by a couple of my co-hosts. First, Alex Montone.
Hey, how's it going?
Now, Alex, I understand you had a heart attack last night, and you're in the studio, and you have a wing.
You okay, Dad? Hey, he's just having a heart attack.
My bounce back game is strong.
And to Alex's right is Alex Saxon. Saxon,
Hiya.
how was your 4th of July?
Super good, Mitch.
Yeah, no heart attacks, no bypass.
No heart attacks.
Now, we've got a pretty big show ourselves. We have a pair of XLeague greats. We have Aneshea Shali, the tallest woman in the history of man. And we have... woman.
Weapon.
What did I say? And we
She's
have
a doozy.
one of the greatest coaches, perhaps the second greatest coach of all time, Dane Robinson of the Atlanta Empire.
That
Now,
guy.
Before we do that,
He's a bad man.
tell us what you guys did for the 4th of July.
I sat in my pool.
The girl from Ipanema goes for.
Okay, I enjoyed a feast with some friends and cooked up some great meats, of course, and it was a great afternoon.
Do you have a heart attack?
I did not have a heart attack. What about you, Saxon?
I hung out with the fellas. I then had a couple Bruce Storyelskis.
Ooh, couple Charles Bukowskis?
Perhaps a Teddy Bruschi.
That's a good one.
There you go. Okay. Now,
It was good.
I'm glad you both enjoyed your 4th of July. Now, the reason we're all here, we have arguably the biggest announcement since evolution of man, I believe, and that is the coach. The coach who we have not heard from in a few years here on the show
Duck coach?
is back in football.
Dog coach.
The coach is the head now of the XLeague.
What?
I think I'm about to have another heart attack. I'm going to have a heart attack again.
Look, I'm done.
Call 911.
I'm done with the accent, but this is really fun. This is fun. I'm eating. I'm smoking cigars. Yes, Mike Ditka, and that is why we're all dressed this way, is the now chairman of the XLeague. So what does that mean? Why is that so great? Instantly, what does that do? That brings us credibility. Okay? Beyond credibility, the coach has an attitude unlike any other in all of football. We've talked, we've met. He wanted to make sure I had the same vision he does for this league. Obviously, he's not going to attach his name to something. He's got a huge brand in football. For those that don't know, since he's done playing football, coaching football, by the way, he's a Hall of Famer, we all know. His business acumen is one of the best in the game. And why am I still holding this rib so gently?
It's good.
It's really
the
good.
rib down.
I was about to put it in the ashtray. You guys can tell we didn't really rehearse this. We're winging it. I thought we did all right. I think we did all right.
We're winging it? Was that a pun?
There you go. So anyways, it is with great excitement. And, for most of our fans have already read about it. They've seen it on the news at this point that Mike Ditka has taken over ownership of the XLeague. And he's going to be very involved with all the coaches to make sure that the product looks good next year, working closely with me. I am going to be more on the business side of the house, working with the new broadcasters, building business up that way. He's going to work with football operations. So Coach Ditka was the I would say, the catalyst behind getting us evolved into the uniform that we have right now. Okay, he was not going to put his name to something that wasn't going to be credible from a football standpoint. So what the athletes have to look forward to, and I'm going to break this down into athletes and coaches, and we'll go over this with Dane and Aneshea in a minute, but with the athletes, you're going to have somebody that literally lives and breathes athletes. He cares about them. He's involved with an organization called Gridiron Greats for years now with the NFL, all the retired guys that are beat up, that can't pay for their bills as far as their health bills and all that. He fights that battle all the way up to the Senate.
Oh, wow.
He is legitimately a good guy, and he cares about the athletes. So I think that's going to be, first and foremost, very impactful. And I think from the coach's standpoint, as I've told the coaches, something big is coming down the pipe, be ready for it. It's going to help them immensely with recruiting, right? Because you're starting to see what the XLeague is going to look and feel like.
Now it's on.
It's, you know what? It's full-on uniform. You've got a guy like Mike Ditka as far as a brand behind it. Not to mention what it's going to do with fans around the world that know the game of football. There is no bigger name, I'm sorry, when it comes to pop culture and football, as far as when you look at the totality of football for over the 100 years or so, 101 now. Mike Ditka is the top 2 or 3 when it comes to that list. I mean, there's nobody. There's a lot of great players like Joe Montana, but he never resonated.
There's no SNL skit about Joe Montana. Not any memorable ones anyway.
Yeah, there's only a few guys that have crossed over, like Peyton Manning has crossed over, Besides that, personality-wise, dude, I'm so excited to have this guy as my partner. I haven't really taken on a partner of this scale in all my years of doing business. That's how strongly I feel about this. So anyways, what do you guys think about it? I know you guys, he's outside of your generation a little bit, but you've had a chance to see the videos and all that good stuff. And how tough was it to keep it under wraps for a week?
Oh, my God.
Once you finally told us, I was like, gosh, finally. But I'm excited. One, because he was an old Cowboys player.
That's right.
I know that might rub you the wrong way there, Mitch. But
yeah, I see what you did.
And also, too, him even being, I think he's one of 2 to win a championship as a player, an assistant coach, and a head coach. And with a lot of the footage that you see of him, you see so much passion and aggression. Kind of gives me a little like Michelson, a little bit of Michelson. But I think that'll give a lot more passion to a lot of the coaches too. And I think it really makes it like we are a serious league.
You nailed it on the head. And what a lot of people don't realize, he's not in the Hall of Fame for winning Super Bowls as a coach. He's in the Hall of Fame for redefining the tight end position. You're a Boston gal.
Yeah.
Before Gronk.
Before Gronk. When I was watching all the footage on the pre-edits, I was like, I knew who he was, obviously. Had no idea that he was Gronk before Gronk.
Yeah.
And it was pretty amazing to see all that footage from, the 60s.
He redefined the tight end position.
He really did.
Tight ends before that were just these meatheads that just blocked and they maybe caught a 5-yard out pattern. He went down the field, he opened it up, and he really paved the way for the, Rob Gronkowski's and the
Kelsey.
George Kittles now and the Kelseys and all those guys. So, man, I couldn't be more excited. Like I told you guys last show, we've done a lot of deals here. Like I said, with whether it was MTV, whether it was going international, whatever it was, none of them are going to be as impactful as this. And not just for a year, right? This is a partnership. So he's in it for the long haul in terms of making sure we have a chance here, guys. And it opens up media talks, TV talks here in the U.S. Instantly, people are going to look at this very differently, okay? Because, as much as, the LFL is over and that's my history, but any meeting I take with ESPN, Fox, anybody, they're going to look back to the LFL, right? I'm not in that room anymore, okay? It is Coach Ditka and his people, and he has some of the best people. Steve Mandel, who's the guy who brokered our partnership, is one of the best in the business. He's negotiated multiple major network deals and what have you. So he's going to be leading that charge.
Any teasers about what kind of distribution?
Actually, next show in August, we're going to be announcing our first set of international TV deals that we've landed.
Ooh.
So all of Europe pretty much is going to be covered by the XLeague, which we've never been able to do before. Korea, Japan, Mexico. So as the shows go on between now and 2021, we're going to start announcing a lot of new broadcasters. And I think a lot of that's going to do with Coach. As great as we are, as good as I think I am on the phones, it's going to be Coach and the brand that he brings with him, By the way, you guys are wearing some gear that's on Shop XLeague right now of Coach. This is commemorative Mike Ditka gear.
Look at that. The cigar,
You
the
got the
aviators,
cigar,
the mustache.
the
Where's your mustache, by the way?
Yeah,
I was really hoping you were going to come out in
That's it.
one.
I mean, I had the cigar, I have the meat, I forgot the mustache. I even got the beer.
It would have taken me like a whole 2 months to grow that stash.
Dude, I wanted to go. I'm looking at myself now. I look more like a Ben Hogan golfer type versus what I was going for, but that's okay. So anyways, couldn't be more excited about that. As the shows go on, we'll talk more and more about developments with Coach. As we talked about last week, we're going to be getting on a plane here literally this week with the show, going to Chicago. So the fans will be able to hear directly from Coach. So it's not just in these clips and what have you. He's going to tell you what his vision is for the league. And I'm sure it's going to be plastered everywhere as far as the media, because this is going to hit not only the sports world, this is going to hit the pop culture world, because people are not going to believe Mike Ditka is taking women's football to the forefront. So super excited about that.
Wow, that just gave me chills when you phrased it like that.
It's getting serious.
This is a game changer. This is instantly a game changer. So I couldn't be more excited. Obviously, as this day is going on, we announced it earlier today. S is starting to hit the fan. People are finding out about it. My phone's going to be blowing up for sure when I get off set here. So, I mean, this thing is nuts, and I couldn't be more excited. Like I said, I want to find out, just like we did with the uniform, Aneshea Shali, see what she thinks about this. They don't know about any of this.
We're going to tell her right now, right?
Yeah, we're going to tell her.
Yes.
Dane Robinson doesn't know, and everybody watching, certainly as far as players and coaches, are going to find out now. That being said, let's do that. Let's take a break. Let's come back with Aneshea Shali, break the news to her, and find out what she's doing this offseason.
Cheers, Iron Mike.
When we come back to SLA.
The game has given me a lot, and I believe I have left a legacy I can be proud of both on and off the field. I want to provide women a high-profile platform to compete against the greatest female athletes in the world while creating a destination league for millions of girls to aspire to play in. This will be a marathon, not a sprint. However, we are seeing the world change all around us, and it's changing for the better. The XLeague will be yet another indicator that equality has come of age. It's time to give women and girls the same opportunity to play the game that the men play.
All right, welcome back to SLA, folks. Yes, exciting news with Mike Ditka. Still on that high. I think I'll be on that high for 2-3 weeks. And it's been the toughest thing to sit on all this time. You guys know, you just found out about it a few days ago. It's such huge news that, I don't know, I think we're all going to be on a high on it for a long time. But I really want to get the perspective of our guests. Okay, so our first guest is somebody that came on the radar in a big way. You know what? We had Cheyenne Verdorn on last show. Anesha's kind of in that same ilk in the sense that fans react to her when we put content out. And the little time that she got on the playing field in her last year in the LFL made an impact. I would have loved to seen her be utilized a little more. And I think she's coming into her own, and she, is going to be one of the budding stars of this league. So without any further delay, let's bring in Miss Aneshea Shali, correct?
Yes, sir. Aneshea Shali.
Aneshea Shali. So Aneshea, a lot of news went on between the last show and this show. I'll tell you about the one piece that you already know about is the uniform. We haven't had a chance to ask a player yet what their thoughts are on the change of the full shoulder pads, full jersey, bigger boy shorts, all that good stuff. So give us your thoughts on the uniform first.
I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. I think the full pads give us just that look of like, hey, we're in it to hit hard, and we're going to hit hard. I don't think people necessarily see women in that role, and I think this uniform just kind of ties it all together.
Yeah, the reactions have been phenomenal from athletes. Like as soon as we announced that the show aired, that's what I got. My phone blew up. Most of the athletes in the league have my cell phone. They text me, hey, thank you. This is awesome. It's going to make it so much easier for me to play and everybody else that I want to recruit to play, and certainly from coaches as well. So good to hear that from you as well, Aneshea. What about, now this next one you don't know about. The reason we have all the meat out, I'm smoking a cigar, have a beer, dressed like this. Mike Ditka. Okay, so a little before your time. I'm having to explain it to a lot of the young generation people. So he was the biggest brand name in the NFL. And to this day, if you talk to any football fan, I don't care who you pick anybody, ask them about Mike Ditka, and their eyes will glare up. Now, we announced Mike Ditka has, in essence, bought the XLeague. Your thoughts on somebody with such a storied history, a Hall of Famer. Now, I know I had a great football career. Let's not mince words here, guys. I mean, when I was at the helm of this thing, you're talking about a star high school backup to the backup quarterback. Now you're getting a Hall of Fame tight end. I don't see the difference. I really don't. So, Aneshea, what are your thoughts?
I think it's going to be huge. It puts a name with everything that we're doing. It puts a force kind of behind it. Not saying that you weren't amazing.
Truth comes out.
But I think when you have someone who has such a huge impact on the game, it just shows that someone believes in what we're doing and believes in our mission so much that they're willing to invest in us and just see us go full force. Yeah.
And that's what he wants to get in front of you guys more than anybody right now. And that's the reason we're going out to tell the message of what his thoughts are on the league. Put it on camera. The four of us are going. Is Sunshine coming on that trip? Do we know that yet?
Yeah, he booked it.
He has to come. Yeah,
you're coming on that trip. Yeah, okay. Have you been to Chicago before? I have. You have. One of you guys haven't been to Chicago.
I have not been.
That's right. Yeah, okay. So great food, scenery, the whole thing. I don't know how COVID's working over, but we're going to be in a decent part of town that doesn't have COVID, from what I hear.
We're going to have fun. We're going to have
COVID free.
I don't know what that means. So, and Miss Aneshea, now you wanted to ask her something.
I did. I just wanted to get a feel for like.
Don't mind me. I'm just lighting a cigar here.
This guy.
Very professional.
So outside of football, Aneshea, what do you like to do? Like, what's your personal life like?
I'm actually active duty military. I've served in the Marine Corps for the last 10 years. You can see my little Marine Corps over there. Huge into fitness, training. I'm a photographer by trade, so photographer, videographer in the Marine Corps. Yeah, just passionate about just everything that it is that I'm doing and, helping people and how I can, help them reach the goals that they're wanting to do. If I can help them do great things, then I'm doing great things.
Damn, good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, military. We didn't touch on that enough. So you've got a pretty storied history as a Marine. Is that right? How tough is that? I've always wanted to know. Is Parris Island the Marines or is that someone else?
Parris Island is the Marine Corps. That's for the females. So the females go to Parris Island.
That's why I was being recruited to Parris Island. I was just like, So what did you do in the military? Talk to us about that a little bit.
I'm still active duty. I'm on my way out the door though. Decided to take another path. But obviously leading, junior Marines, setting the example, trying to be something that people want to emulate. That's the biggest thing. And I think that's a huge thing for football too. And just remembering how I felt being the new person or the rookie. It's huge in how military transitions into sports and being a leader and then being able to following directions and just being consistent in everything that you do on and off the field.
You were just talking about rookie year. Tell me a little bit about your rookie year. What was that like for you? How was it playing?
My rookie year. So my rookie year, I played for Nashville. It was interesting because I was living in Maryland. So I was living in Maryland and I was traveling back and forth between Maryland and Nashville. So there would be times where I would get off work Friday, shoot out to Nashville, driving, 10 hours or whatever it may be to go and practice. And, it just shows that dedication and, putting your heart all into something and being willing to sacrifice.
Okay. So now tell me a little bit about the transition. So now you're on Austin Sound. How has that been like playing with new players? I mean, are you guys getting along? How is it going? Is it a better comparison? Do you almost think it's even a better fit?
So now my drive is no longer 10 hours. It's only 2. No.
Save some gas money.
So that is
That's
awesome.
already better.
We're already good. No, honestly, going down to Austin is awesome. At first it kind of felt like, hey, you're kind of that rookie again because you are with a new team. But I mean, once I got down there, we just mesh. Like the girls are awesome. They're receptive. Freaking Coach O Like, I can't even tell you enough about Coach O. I mean, he and I hit it off extremely well, obviously, because he's got a military background as well. He's Army, but whatever. Marine Corps. But no, he's Army. I'm Marine Corps. So like, we just automatically have like this mental sync of like, hey, just get it done. Like, here's what I'm telling you to do. Here's how I want you to do it. Just do it. So I think down in Austin, the structure is crazy, amazing. They're always pouring into us. They're always, more practices. What can we do to help you? Zoom calls. Even with, COVID going on, still trying to make it work, still trying to adapt and overcome. So I think Austin is a really good fit for me, minus it being like 110 out here during practices.
Yeah.
Yikes.
To back up Aneshea's, Austin is just run like a different franchise. Coach Oliveira is coach of the year back-to-back the last 2 years in the LFL for a reason. And we have a lot of great coaches. Heck, we have one of them on the show right now, Dane Robinson, coming up next. But Coach Oliveira is just cut from a different cloth. I mean, he takes this so incredibly seriously. It's his name on the line is the way he looks at it. That's why I try to preach to all the coaches around the league that unless you care about that product, and all of them do, of course, but there's different levels of that. And Coach Oliveira is at the top of it, but that's what we're going to demand from everybody. And those were the exact words Mike Ditka said to me when we wrapped our call. He said, if you can't get these guys to fall in line, as far as he's talking about the coaches, you need to get me on a call with each and every one of them. And Mike Ditka is not someone you want to cross or not follow through with. So, we're excited to see you in Austin play this April coming up in 2021. We think that you've got a lot of upside potential. You know that. I know you've been working like nobody else this offseason to get ready for 2021. I know you're one of the class acts of the league. Keep doing what you do, and we hope to see you in 2021. We'll have you on before that.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Well, listen, that is Aneshea Shali. Like I said, she is really one of the stars of this league, okay? Really works her butt off. She's got commitments. There's no excuses. That's why when I hear from a 21, 22-year-old player that, hey, I can't get out as often as I want, whatever. No, she's a mother. She's got 2 kids at home, full-time military. She's working. If she can manage to put in the work to work on her craft, anybody can. So truly one of the stars of this league. That's the reason we brought her on. That's really what we want to do with this show. We want to reward athletes that are putting in the work, that we want to, especially now with the Ditka announcement. I mean, you're going to see a tidal wave of media and everything. And I'm going to say it, I've been saying it for freaking 8 years that, hey, listen, that day is going to come, and we've already had some fun stuff, like I said, and being brand ambassadors and getting a chance to go to Sydney and Brisbane and all these places. But it's going to get even bigger than that. And you can't be Johnny come lately. You'd have to have been putting in the work to this point to really benefit from it. Aneshea Shali certainly has, and really our next guest has as well, Dane Robinson, who we're going to bring in next, head coach of the Atlanta Empire, when we come back to SLA. By the way, how do you like this outfit? Ben Hogan, or is it Mike Ditka?
Looking good.
Looking sharp, bud.
Back after this.
We're going to make sure that you get to where you need to be. This coach is not going to tell you anything because we want you to fail. We want you to succeed.
All right, welcome back to SLA. We talked about a great coach that's taken on a pretty sizable role in the XLeague moving forward. Now let's talk to another coach, a legendary coach in the time that he's been here. It's unbelievable. The guy was 14 when he started with the old LFL. None other than Dane Robinson of the Atlanta Empire. Welcome to SLA.
24 is how old I was into it. But what's going on, y'all?
Hey, man, I was just remarking off camera. The hair. I put on 8 pounds. You put on 8 pounds of hair, man. What's going on? Usually you keep your stuff nice and smooth.
Yikes.
Usually I keep it tight and everything, but COVID hair and everything. Also, the wife likes the beard, so I'm playing about that. But don't get used to it.
Yeah, we talked about the wife. The wife is the important role in the Atlanta Empire. Coach Dane Robinson's phenomenal. He's been surrounded by great assistants who've been there a long time. Carlos Bustamante, the Bustamontes. We've got Dominique, who's an incredible quarterback coach. Of course, Mark White, who's now moved on to the Kansas City Force. Talk to us about your wife and the role that she's played in this whole thing.
I get the question all the time when I was 24 when you first approached me about being a coach in the then LFL. She was like, absolutely not. But the best thing about it is that people are like, how do you get your wife to be okay with it? Is I involve her with it. So this has actually been going on 8 years now for us being a part of, like, the LFL, or being maybe a head coach in the XLeague now, is that she handles all my logistics. She's in with the girls. She's at practice. She films everything. You've seen her run around the locker room, usually bugging you for things for me in that avenue there. But it's a team effort, and we're really proud that when we look back on this was, we tell our kids, like, this was something that really cool that mom and dad really did back in our early, late 20s and 30s and whatnot, that we thrive as a couple to do together.
As a team, certainly, yeah. And what a lot of people don't know, the new XLeague structure is very unique in the sense that, people that we truly believe in, even from day one, but most of it's going to be people that have been here a long time as we build the sport together, as we build the teams together. We offered a very select few people ownership of their respective teams. So Coach Dane Robinson's actually the first ever team owner, believe it or not, of the Atlanta Empire. So excited to have him as a partner. So this what I'm about to tell you in a minute is going to have even a bigger impact for both of us, because we're both in the ownership suite now, bud.
It was always I always felt you always gave me great ownership of what was happening here in Atlanta. And that was just, continuing just to water not only our culture, but also water our players, create our systems, our organization, and everything like that. So when you extended that opportunity, it felt like it was already there, honestly, but I'm glad that we could always take that next step further and continue to build on the foundation that we've been doing so far.
Now, you've had a lot of great wins in the old LFL and certainly some memorable losses on the biggest stages sometimes, but I don't think there's been a big enough loss, and the one loss that I think you'll remember that will probably haunt you for the rest of your career, no matter how long it goes in the XLeague, or perhaps you'll move on to the NFL one day, but you lost the first ever Stairs Challenge.
If that's the story you want to go with.
Hey,
there's a video apparently.
Dane, I was filming, and from my angle, I
got witnesses. I
think Mitch took the W, brother.
Video does not lie. Does video lie? You guys are editors. Can video lie?
Footy or it didn't happen.
That was tough. I did not expect to win, I'll be honest. Honestly, I'm giving up 20 years to Dane.
It was my bad. Next time I will have my own camera crew.
Yeah, it helps when you're paying them.
Yeah. Now he's an owner and all.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure the camera people are on your payroll. But you can see from the video here, clearly I won.
Clearly.
Hey, Coach, speaking of last season, tell me a little about the experience overall.
I will always say this. I've told all of my players for as long as I've been a coach in this avenue, what I've done what we will do in the XLeague and what I've done in the LFL, just here in just women's football in Atlanta. I believe we've created the highest platform to think about some of my top football moments. We're in with the team. I wasn't even playing. Really coming to mind was my first year as a head coach and winning the Eastern Conference Championship and going to Legends Cup that first time and being down. I mean, there's a whole story, guys. Go to YouTube and just type in Atlanta's team, 2014 or whatever year it was. But those top moments, I can't get back, and they're full of them. But the moments I've had as a head coach within women's football, and especially under now the XLeague moniker and the brand, have kind of superseded what I've even experienced as a player, and that says something.
Definitely.
Here, Coach.
Love it. Okay, and then also, so the other big news, Dakota Hughes is out. Molly Richardson is back. Yeah. Tell me how that is.
That was big news 11 months ago.
Well,
we're talking about it now.
Now we're getting the first hand.
Wait, I can't upset my camera people. Light rides on the camera people. What's the situation at quarterback? Yeah, obviously Dakota, talented quarterback without a doubt. The knock on her was she could never win the big game. Now you've got Molly Richardson in there. How's that experience been?
Yeah, and I'm so glad, again, Dakota, for any fans out there, Dakota is done officially. I had the pleasure actually over last month to actually be the officiant at her wedding and to have her she's now married. I was able to see her through that. Those relationships that we create with our players, especially I knew Dakota when she was 18 years old, and for her to select me in such a big moment to, carry out her vows to her now husband, just amazing. But she is off on to bigger and better things. She's actually a coach herself with a flag football team here in the high school level here in Georgia over at Sequoia High School. Go Chiefs. But that being said, our new quarterback, Molly Richardson, she was actually a receiver for me back in our second Legends Cup run. There she made some navigations over to at Nashville at the time. We were able to say, like, listen, there's an occupancy at quarterback. We saw what she was able to do in developing that Nashville scheme. And then also the fact that she knew us, we knew her. And as soon as we got to practice for the Atlanta Empire during, what we were prepping for in the 2020 season, just receptive, just a leader. The one thing about Molly is that just like Dakota, but also different than Dakota, is the fact of like her moxie and the fact that she is just like uncharacteristically dedicated to like the craft. There, she's always coachable. I think she's an engineer, so by nature she's smarter than for her own good, in that regard. But that being said, her mindset and leader that when she talks, the players listen.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, I mean, we're talking about all these athletes because we have to, because we kind of know who's going into those positions. But I'll tell you what, we have never been this flooded in an off season with people wanting to play. And post the uniform announcement and then what we're announcing today in the show with Coach Ditka, I mean, the floodgates are going to open up. I would challenge that we don't have a set position in this league right now, because I think you're going to have an influx of so much more talent coming in 2021 than we've ever seen before. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, especially quarterback role.
Are positions up for grabs in 2021? Is it just still all...
Nobody's contracted. Coach knows. Nobody's contracted.
Okay.
Alex is trying to get on the field. That's what she's trying to do.
That's right. You actually tried out for the LA team of the old LFL, huh?
I did. Temptation 2012.
You couldn't be... Who was the quarterback?
Salerno was gunslinging, and I was competing to be her backup. And... I don't know the young lady that was obviously tougher than I, but yeah.
Was that the same year that I was competing to be her backup?
Actually, it was you. Were you wearing a wig?
That was the year I was in Paris Island and I came over. Yeah. You don't remember? All right, whatever.
It's all making sense now. Damn.
Real quick. So, Coach, the uniform announcement, obviously you watched the show. You've seen the fallout from it. Talk to us from a coach's perspective, what that means to you and what, if anything, you've heard from your athletes to this point.
No, absolutely. It's all about progression. It's about that balance. Again, for me as a coach, it's understanding about putting a great product of football out on the field, but also it's making sure that our fans are able to enjoy that product at a high level, but our players also feel strong. They feel athletic. They feel, again, comfortable wearing, what they're performing and operating at the highest level in. With those uniforms, those adjustments and everything there, we've continued to take steps and strides to not only, again, help our players, again, feel confident about what they're doing on the field, but also take those progressive steps, again, from, I would say old, I think LFL, Lingerie League, to Legends Avenue, to XLeague Avenue. It just shows the progression and the maturity. It takes time, just like everything else. But just like that, Mitch, you always kind of talk about what we're doing in the realm of women's football as a league of their own. There, I remember like when they were wearing skirts above their ankles, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" That being said, is that there is still progressive avenues, even in that avenue for women in baseball. Same thing here. This is just a 2021, 22, 2020 version of a league of their own, and this is that next step. And the players have been really just supportive and really excited about that avenue, that they can really feel good, continuously feel good about what they're wearing and how they're going to approach this game of football at such a high level.
Yeah, I think the confidence, I think you said it last week, that the mindset and confidence are the most important thing for the athlete when they are comfortable with this outfit. So, uniform, I should say.
The women being comfortable on the field.
Yeah.
They don't feel they have to worry about something.
Yeah.
Like you said, slipping.
Yeah.
They can play at their full performance.
Yeah.
And not have to worry about anything.
And you're out there, so you're going to be getting, I mean, those
angles.
Those shoulder pads are something else, man. You get clocked with one of those, the new ones, the real broad ones, something else. Now, Coach, you heard the news this morning, probably before the show, obviously, before sitting down at the record of this show. As I was telling everybody in the studio here, I think this is the biggest partnership or any deal that I've been a part of in my business career dating back 20, 22 years. That includes, like I said, big television deals, international trips with the former LFL, all that. But the fact that Mike Ditka is on board now as chairman of the XLeague, the biggest name, arguably, in NFL history, Hall of Famer, Coach Mike Ditka, and he wants to get after you coaches first. That he said, that's my first thing. I want to get on a call with each one of these guys. But talk to us about what that means to you. You're a football guy, so you know, Coach.
I mean, that's a legend. That's a legend. I mean, you can go in all the different avenues of, like, you know, Singletary and, like, you know, Ray Lewis and, you know, all these different avenues. But we talk about Mike Ditka. I mean, obviously, first comes in, again, one of the all-time greats, you know, obviously a Hall of Famer, you know, legendary coach, obviously synonymous with Chicago and the Bears and everything there. But, you know, it goes back to building and creating. You know, I would say sometimes people maybe look at our league and the fact that it might be like the overnight, you know, 10-year success, so to speak. And when the overnight 10-year success, it's taken a long time to get to this level. But when you talk about, you know, somebody as influential and has played the sport and epitomizes this game, for whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, in the realm of football, Mike Ditka is in that, you know, I would say hierarchy, that top 5%, that top 1% of NFL, just football, you know, I wouldn't even say personalities, just greats that now all of a sudden have been able to see the fruits of this labor that we've been putting together as coaches, as players, as yourself, as staff, anybody that's had any involvement with the past LFL, now the XLeague and everything there. For him to now validate all that hard work and to take us that much further, faster with that type of football knowledge, it's amazing. And everybody that's involved with the XLeague and soon to be a part of the XLeague should be incredibly ecstatic.
Yeah, no, we're the word is getting out. It is hitting the news wires. It did this morning, so it's going to be pretty bananas around here for the next couple weeks, and we'll be in Chicago to sit down with Coach, like we said before. Now, you're also a legendary pregame. I mean, your pregame speeches are the best. Are the absolute best. Sorry, see, I told you my phone's going off.
Yeah. It's already happening.
Turn the notifications off.
It's been going
now.
nuts, dude. I can't even knock off for an interview here for a minute. Coach, your pregame speeches are absolutely legendary. We'll listen to one right here.
Hey, alignment, assignment, effort, earn everything. Do what we need to do to take it here a step further. All right? It starts here. These ladies, not worth it. They're trying to take that away from you. Not tonight.
Now, what gets you to that level when on game day? I know most of us can get there, but you're at a whole different stratosphere.
A lot of caffeine, number one.
Yeah.
You know, I had to transition, and maybe Mitch, you remember from my early days as like a young coach, you know, I had just got finished playing. So it was hard for me to discern or like disconnect from like those game day feelings and everything like that. So I think I was more fiery back then than I am now. But that being said, is that there's still a focus, there's still a level of intensity that needs to happen. So I always think about what's the message that needs to happen. I would say between the ears and behind the eyes. What's the message that needs to happen there so that we're in the right frame of mindset to attack whatever our goal is. And even as I give like almost a pseudo speech right now, that's where, you know, I think about the ladies. We love to get the best athletes. It's awesome. It's great. I always pride myself on getting the right women, to getting the right personalities on this team that receive that message and then go execute it.
Wow. Well said. Alex, you want to talk? I mean, Coach has got a big life away from football too, man.
I can feel, Coach, I can feel your energy through the Zoom call. So I know it's all there and everything. What is your life outside? I saw on your Instagram, because I was creeping. I see that you're like a motivational speaker. You're a fitness coach. Like, what's all that like?
XLeague and being a coach is just one of many things that I'm involved in and everything like that. But my 9 to 5 is that I'm a fitness professional here in Atlanta. I coach at studios, and I actually coach fitness professionals on just their fitness career as well, fitprogameplan.com. I also work for a company called Daily Burn as far as working, doing on-camera fitness coaching. So I do that as well. Again, dailyburn.com. I'm a Lululemon ambassador as well.
You learn something every show. Well, listen, Coach, I appreciate you being on. I wish you could be here to share like a wing with us or something, a cigar. That's the reason I look like this today, and the glasses have not come off. I may just parlay this into a night out in San Clemente. Have everybody very confused. Well, listen, Coach, I appreciate you taking the time to come on this show. As we said, we're trying to get some of the people that are going to ultimately move this league in the right direction. You're at the top of that list. A class act, always a joy to work with. And now we got a new owner in our box with us by the name of Mike Ditka. So exciting times coming for us all. So thanks for being on the show.
Hey, I appreciate it so much. And again, we're just going to continue to do what we've done the last 7-8 years in Atlanta. We're going to continue to move that forward. To everybody watching, please stay safe out there and continue. Again, there's some conversations obviously in our world that are going on. I'm not wearing this shirt for a Best by chance. Continue to have those conversations out there, but stay safe ultimately.
Excellent. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time. That is Coach Dane Robinson of the Atlanta Empire. And yeah, he's always hustling to get the right pieces in place. As I said, though, is from a coach's perspective right now, you have no idea what 2021 is going to look like. This is a show we're all going to look back on. I think 20 years from now, we're going to look back and go, that was the day that Mike Ditka was announced.
We dropped the Ditka.
We dropped the Ditka.
We had 3 heart attacks.
Everyone had.
Well, yeah, I think he went busted on us. But that's all right. I keep getting like Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin when I try to do that. Well, listen, guys, as always, a great show. Coming off the first one, great reaction. If you guys don't know, Miss Alex Montone does the editing on the show. Production was off the chain, as always. Alex Saxon does all the brilliant work behind scenes. Doesn't get as much credit as he deserves. And then Sunshine, come on in. I don't think you had any cameo this show. Come on, man. And we'll give you your usual 3-second spot. You ready?
Well, I don't want to be the one to break your heart, but Sunshine's from California.
Yeah, a California dreamboat.
Can I offer you a meet?
Yeah, get in there.
Oh, there you go. Enjoy. All right, guys. This place is getting nuts again. Listen, I appreciate you joining us for what's going to be a historical show. We hope to see you guys again. I think it's August 11th or 17th. We'll let you know the date.
Next time you see us, we'll be in Chicago.
We'll be recapping. In fact, we'll do a lot with Coach. We'll sit down with Coach Ditka, talk about his vision for what the XLeague is going to be. That'll be on the next show. A lot of that's going to be in the next show. So appreciate you taking the time. For Aneshea Shali of your Austin Sound. Of course, Dane Robinson of the Atlanta Empire. For Alex Saxon, Alex Montone. Of course, Jacob Vanderbeek. This is Mitch Mortaza. We will see you next time on Sweet Level Access.
Duh, Bears.